Hi guys, welcome back to another Animal Adventures with Jordan, and today we are featuring some of our New World species of monkeys here at Animal Adventure, and that is the white cap or black and white Capuchins. Now Capuchins, there are many different kinds. There's not just the black and whites here. There's also cinnamons and browns and so on. Now these guys are native to Central and South America, where they'll inhabit the canopies and treetops and are a very intelligent and very social species of primate. Now first things first, talking about anatomy a little bit on our guys. I guess I can introduce him. This gentleman next to me, his name is Bobo. Hi Bobo. And his girlfriend over there is Kiki. Now, Bobo and Kiki actually came to us. They are another animal that was brought to us from, I guess you consider, the pet trade, because quite often many people think that primates make phenomenal pets. Now, mind you, they are intelligent, they are social, which makes them the perfect helper animal. Quite often we hear about service dogs. Well, there are such things as service monkeys, and because of the intellectual abilities of the Capuchin, quite often the Capuchin will be used in that manner, which is quite appropriate because they can certainly help individuals that need their assistance. However, primates as pets, they have to be for the right people with the right time, because these are smart, like I said, and can be very destructive animals and are quite curious, and they are not for everybody, and not something we'd normally recommend, of course. So this little lady next to me, this is Bobo's girlfriend, and this is Kiki. Now you might notice Kiki has some enlarged breasts there. We're hoping perhaps we could have a baby coming in the near future. So before we talk baby and all that stuff, let's get some anatomy and behavioral stuff out of the way. Now you can see that body size is anywhere from about, on average, about 12 to about 17 inches from neck down to the rear end. But that tail will actually double in size sometimes of the body. Now that tail, as you can see, has a little curl on the end of it because it is prehensile, meaning it does exactly what you think a monkey tail should do and allow them to hang upside down and grab things with it and so forth. Now, their hands, obviously, are very, very well adapted to them being a New World species of monkey, and they're almost human-like in nature. Now, these guys, I told you they're a smart animal. Their brain is actually one of the largest in proportion to their body from many of the other monkeys that are similar to their size. Now, that body, we've already talked about the size. The weight can get anywhere from about 7, 8, maybe 10, 12 pounds for a larger Capuchin monkey. Now these guys in the forest or in the jungles where they live, I told you they're very social, so they'll live in groups of up to like 20, 30, 40 different members. Now that social structure in there, they are very reliant on one another. They will groom one another. They acknowledge the maternal lineage within the monkey family. However, the group is run usually by a dominant male. All right. Now that dominant male might stay with his group for up to like 17 some odd years before moving on, and he will sire many of the offspring of that group. But uniquely enough, there's also submissive males, less dominant males in that group that he allows to stay because, you know, he's doing his own work in maintaining genetic diversity. What'll happen is he doesn't want to breed his daughters and his granddaughters. So these submissive males will actually breed them, and that helps continue the family group and also diversify that lineage quite a bit. Now you say, what happens though? Eventually everyone's going to be related. Well, what happens is our males will leave the group. It could be every 4 years the males will leave that social group. Generally 1, 2, or 3 males will leave together, find another group, and start over. Now, harshly enough, when they join that new group, what they often do is they will kill the infants, the offspring, so they can start over again, so they can start that whole new lineage and pass on their seed. So incredible social structure, incredible family dynamic. Now another thing, you might be able to hear them chirping and squeaking behind me in the background. These guys are quite noisy monkeys. They vocalize quite a bit, and actually their calls mean many different things. Remember, very smart animals. For example, the call for a predator. If it's a ground predator, it might have one call. If it's an arboreal predator, it might have another call. That's how diverse these calls actually are. Now, who are their predators? Of course, being in the rainforest and canopy environments, it could be many different things. You have your ocelots, you have your jaguars, you have snakes, you have birds of prey, and the list goes on from there. However, they are quite fast and quite skilled to get away and do quite well when under pressure or under threat. Let's see if we can bring them back over. Bobo, Kiki. There you go, young lady. How about a peanut? Now, another neat thing about our Capuchins is their ability to use tools. All right, they're that intelligent. Just a few minutes ago, our male Capuchin saw that there was a couple grapes stuck up in a feeding tube that our guests are able to use to send grapes down to them as a treat. And we thought, well, his arm can't reach up there. What's he going to do? He took his long tail, I told you how long that is, shoved it up the tube like a pipe cleaner, and pulled the grapes back down. Very smart, very intelligent, problem-solving species of primate. Now, in pop culture, you might recognize these guys already. Of course, on the show Friends, I believe the monkey's name was Marcel, was a pet. And then, of course, in the movie Outbreak, Dustin Hoffman, I believe it was, many years ago, maybe in the 90s. Awesome movie. Capuchins were the carrier for the Motabi virus, I believe it was. Now, let's see if we can call them back over real quick. Bobo, Kiki. And by all means, when I say they're smart, they're smarter than me. They're ignoring the filming entirely. So let's talk about enrichment. Because they're so intelligent, we have to keep them stimulated. Enrichment, for those of you just starting to watch our episodes, we do cover it in other segments. Enrichment is stimulating the body and mind of animals in our captive management programs. A happy, stimulated animal is not destructive to themselves, to their exhibits, to their keepers, to their exhibit mates, and makes for a physically and psychologically happier and healthier animal. So for our Capuchins, what do? It's a mix of different things. You might see behind me, there are child's toys behind us. Well, children's toys are extremely safe, not only for children, but also monkeys, also primates, and we can put those in there and they play with them because they make sounds and there's bright colors, and there's also lots of little cubbies and holes where we can hide different treats for them. You can also notice there's puzzle feeders and hammocks and things around. The more things for them to get into, the more trouble, the better. We have some toys that are noise makers. We even have mirrors in here where the Capuchins will take a mirror, flip it, look at themselves and make faces and play, and then go about their business. Now, one of the neat things also about our Capuchins is that I'm talking about them making faces is that they make a lot of facial expressions that help them communicate. All right. Now, we talked about, and I believe it was our Patis monkey episode, how smiling at a monkey is not a good thing because it's showing off your canines, and that's a display of dominance. Well, same thing with our Capuchins. Not only do they show off those canines, but also they have faces for happiness, sadness, aggression, inquiry. Very neat, very unique, and you can actually Google some of those. And we were able to take a sign from another facility and reproduce it here so that our guests at the park can actually learn how to speak Capuchin through the visual signs of facial expression. Now, coming back to just a couple more facts about our guys. We talked about already that social structure and infants in it, but let's talk about that reproduction. So generally, females mature at about 3 years of age. Males take like 10 years of age to mature. Even though a female might mature at 3, she might not produce her first baby until about 6 to 7 years old. And even though their gestation, and I believe is about 6 months, 7 months, even though their gestation's about that range, they only produce offspring every like 24 to 27 months. Why? Because they raise their offspring and they're part of that social structure. So what happens is after mom gives birth, that baby is going to be reliant on mom, hanging on her back for up to like the first 3 months. After 3 months, that baby will start to kind of explore on its own, but always going back to mom. And the weaning process really doesn't happen until anywhere from like 6 to 12 months. And once that baby is weaned, of course, it stays within the family structure, within that troop or that group. And of course, it acknowledges its mother and its siblings and sisters. And like I said, there's a hierarchy there, maternal hierarchy, that I guess the girls of the group do acknowledge and recognize. So, I guess on that note, we'll wrap up for our Capuchins today. Again, awesome animal, extremely smart, intelligent, and go ahead and check out some of those YouTube videos and movies I mentioned. You'll get a kick out of them. So guys, tune in again on a Tuesday or Thursday for another Animal Adventures with Jordan.